All right, we want to take a few moments to tell you about one of our very good friends of the show, Aligned Health Center. Aligned Health Center is the first chiropractic biophysics clinic in Northern Ohio serving patients in Westlake. The team at Aligned Health Center helps patients with back pain, neck pain, migraines, ADHD, digestive issues, sleep disturbance, whiplash, scoliosis, and much more. The mission at Aligned Health Center is simple: to help people in Westlake and Beechwood areas achieve the best possible health and overall wellness. They know what it's like to have constant neck and back pain. It's no fun, and they are here to help. And as a special offer for the Oranges Orange listeners, it's you guys, Aligned Health Center is offering a free exam to our incredible fans. That's right, free exam at no cost just for you. So give Aligned Health Center a call at 440-230-6865 or visit their website at alignedhealthcenters.com to make an appointment and to learn more about how Aligned Health Center can help you. Make sure you mention Oranger at checkout to receive the free offer. Again, that's 440-230-6865 or visit alignedhealthcenters.com.
Part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
45-50, 45-40, run, William, run! He's got blockers in front, 5, touchdown! Joshua Cribbs turns disaster into a score! Kick block! They blocked the kick!
All right, we are back. Tyvis, we're back. We are back.
Yeah, it's been quite some time, you know. It's been a lot going on in Hollywood's life.
And yours.
No, not even to the magnitude of what you got going on. I mean, dating game contests, all kind. You like the person to know at ESPN Cleveland. It's like you the right hand man or woman, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
yeah. Well, I could say the same. You were in Chicago doing stuff for Big Ten Network. You're on YouTube doing that show.
Little here and little there. You know, I'm popping in and out. You know, ain't nothing major.
All right. Well, we just need to make a pact, Tyvis, that you and I we're just always gonna be there, you know, for each other.
Absolutely.
As times move forward, careers grow, all that good stuff. Yeah, and we're taking Ty with us. He has no other choice.
Well, you'll be leaving us first, you know, but you know, we are for lifers. Yeah. But you'll blow up before me, and it'll be me and Ty just on here. I guess I don't know. Ty, you'll have to come from behind the desk and just start talking with me.
I can talk sports.
There we go. That sounds very, very, you feel very secure in that, Ty.
Absolutely.
I can talk sports. That might be the new title of the show. So, well, speaking of the title of the show, this is the Oranges Oranger Cleveland Browns podcast. I'm Holly Wetzel. That is Tyvis Powell. And we have taken a little bit of a hiatus, as so did the Browns. So, you know, it's July. We're back into the groove. And it's been, I would say, Tyvis, it's almost been kind of like a, uneventful, eventful off season, right? Like we're in like this quarterback purgatory, right? But then there's been more that's happened obviously since the last month. There's been moves and rumors and the whole thing. But before we get into that, I do need to know how your fourth was, how Chicago was. I need a life update from you first.
Okay. Well, my fourth was pretty good. You know, I obviously I gained some weight. And, you know,
he sent me this text earlier.
Yeah, I gained some weight, and I'm really disgusted with myself because I shouldn't have did that. Like I really enjoyed myself a little too much, and I kind of forgot. I'm usually one of those guys that, you know, even though I'm having fun, I always keep my goals in the front of my mind. And this time I kind of let it go a little bit too far. So I was 215, I think, on Friday. And then I stepped on the scale this morning and I was like 221 or something like that. So it's a big deal for me. And I'm disgusted with myself. This is not the weight that I was when my wife met me. I think when you get married, right, you owe it to your significant other to try to look as good as you possibly can for as long as you can, because my wife didn't fall in love with 221 Tyvis. She fell in love with Actually, I was 205, but that's not happening ever again. So 213 is what I'm settling for. So it'll get there. But, that was what it was. Chicago, on the other hand, that was quite the time of my life. It's been a while where I actually went on vacation and just thoroughly enjoyed myself. Now, going to Chicago, I had accepted a offer to go to the Big Ten network for this Big Ten experience, is what it's called, which is broadcast and boot camp. It was a 2-day event. I flew in. Well, I ain't flying. I drove in on Monday. We had a nice little dinner that night with, I found out it was a total of 12 of us, 7 girls, 5 boys. I was the only football player there. Everybody, all the other boys was basketball, and I think one was gymnastics. Had a good dinner. The next day is when we was on the yard. It was showtime. We got a nice little presentation, and they broke it down into 3 sections. You had studio, digital, and play-by-play. And I started off with studio on the first day. Now, studio, I go in there, and you got to do the big show, and then you got to do the post-game show. Well, Holly, you've been working with me for quite some time now, and
God, he texted me about this too. It's
exhausting. So if anybody, so you get 2 takes. They wanted you to do it twice. Typically you mess up on the first one, or you do something that they don't like. They would tell you in your ear. The producer gets in your ear, tell you what you need to fix. Then boom, you do it twice. Well, Holly and Taj know that I am not only Tyvis the Thug Powell, but I am Mr. One Take Shorty. So I definitely held up to my name. 1 take, Holly. It was perfect.
Oh God.
It was just so perfect. The producer comes out the back, get this man on TV. Like, yeah, I appreciate it, so I'll get that done. Next I did digital media, was social media stuff, creating content for Twitter, IG, and TikTok. Yeah. And he gave us like a 40-minute presentation on what they do, why it's important, how is this going to affect the future. And then at the end of the presentation, they you had to come up with your own content. He give you 10 minutes to brainstorm, and you come up with your own content. Well, when he said, I'll give y'all 10 minutes, I said, well, I'm ready right now. He said, you don't need the 10 minutes? I said, no, absolutely not. I know exactly what I'm going to say. Let's get it. He said, okay, well, you could go first. So he puts the camera in front of.
What was it? What did you automatically know that was going to be great content?
They was like, you had to come up with like a top 3. So I came up with a top 3. It could be whatever you want. My top 3 was the hardest sports to play. And it went, hockey was 3rd. Baseball was 2nd, and golf, for obvious reasons, was 1 for me. So that was it. It was hilarious. I was able to reference myself. It was just flawless. Then we move on to the play-by-play, and the play-by-play.
By the way, I just want to preface that if anyone has not seen the video of Tyvis trying to swing a club,
don't watch
it. ESPN nationally. Please go and Google it. It is fantastic. It's one of the greatest things you'll watch.
Wow, it's Googleable? That's terrible. Anyway,
you're on national TV. Come on.
I'm gonna delete that. Anyways, the last thing was play-by-play, and the play-by-play was the thing that was on my mind the whole time. Like studio, I wasn't worried about, and the digital media, I wasn't worried about, but the play-by-play was the thing that kind of kept me up at night. Because I don't know why, to be honest with you. I had the opportunity of working with 97.1 The Fan in Columbus last year, and where I called high school games for a whole season. So like I had experience doing it, but for some odd reason, this being the Big Ten network, is the big leagues, quote unquote. So I needed to be ready. Like I thought I needed to be perfect. Anyways, I get in there, and we get through the pregame show, and then boom, we get into the game, and it's just natural for me. It's just breaking stuff down, especially when it comes to the secondary. Breaking things down and explaining why corners should be more aggressive or why they gave up this play. And it was really perfect. And after I get done with the play-by-play, they pull me into the office and he goes, Tyvis, it was amazing what you did. He said, the thing that I worried about with you is you're a high energy guy. Everybody knows you're a high energy guy. And I didn't know if you could harness it because, on TV, it could come off as too much, especially when you call in a game. But he said that it was time. I was very enthusiastic. My energy level was great. He said you brought in some knowledgeable points. You were funny at times. It wasn't too much. It was flawless. It was perfect. So I was like, man. So to wrap this whole story up, what it did for me was it just gave me confirmation that this is not a waste of time for me. Like I'm on to something, and it's days where I think to myself like, am I good enough to do stuff like this? Like, am I wasting my time or am I just, should I find something else? But that was kind of confirmation that I'm really taking the necessary steps to be good and be great at this. So, I don't know what's going to come of it, but I do know that I look myself in the mirror every day and I can smile because it was the best me and I was myself and I was really proud of what I did. So that was Chicago.
Well, Tyvis, I'm not surprised. I'm super happy for you. I mean, I want to say that, you started to pick up when you joined the Orange is Oranger. I mean, those things kind of go hand in hand. So, I mean.
It was Holly. You gave me the assist. You kind of put my name on the map. I was just nobody. And then once I paired with the Hollywood Wetzel, it was just like some steam started picking up. So I owe it all to you,
Oh, wow. Well, I'm glad this is being recorded because I want this to be played in the future when you're making the big bucks. But no, I'm not surprised at all. You and I text quite a bit about your you send me little texts about, oh, this person's so good. How am I going to be like this person? And you're right up there. So I don't know why. And it's all about the reps. That's what I've been told. And you're getting all the reps. And so you're going to be fantastic. I'm very impressed that you leveled down your energy though. Like that's
what, or do you really think that I come off as a high energy guy? Like,
yeah. You are a very positive person. Sometimes I don't want you to be that positive, but you are.
Well, that's the thing, it's so much negativity going on in the world. Everybody needs some positive reinforcements, like it's you're never going to get to what you really want if you're just going to be mad and blame the world and point the finger. But if you be positive about it, for some odd reason, putting out good karma into the universe, it tends to come back to you. So just how I am, man. It's just I want to see everybody happy and I want to see everybody successful and make it in life. I mean, is that a crime?
It's not. No, you're moving right along in your career in life. So, well, I'm glad you had a good last week or right up through the 4th.
And if have you ever been to Nobu?
I have.
Oh my! I don't think I can
New York
eat
City.
sushi. I can never eat sushi from anywhere else again. It is by far the best sushi I've ever had in my life. Yeah. Anybody that's listening, if Nobu is in your city or area, please go. It costs some money, but it's worth every penny.
Yeah. I had it in New York. I don't care for sushi at all. I've tried it, but you know what I had there? I had their Chilean sea bass. Oh,
I would have
ever thought. It was fantastic. Would I order it probably anywhere else? No, because it's not going to be good. And it's I'm going to be disappointed. I also had the first time I ever had a dirty martini with blue cheese stuffed olives was also in New York City. And to this day, I'll never have a martini as good as the one I had in New York City. So
New York City was a good time, is what you're saying.
It was, yeah. When I worked for Fox for many years, my coworkers at the time were awesome. And they all mostly lived in the city. And they would take me like to their neighborhoods and we'd go out to their favorite restaurants and places and stuff. So it was cool. I was, leaving the touristy areas and going to some really cool neighborhood gems and got to eat all kinds of really fantastic meals. So
gotta check New York. Well, I've been to New York a couple of times. So actually, I can relate. Now I don't drink, so I don't know nothing about that. But food wise, really good.
Yeah. Yeah. Is your wife finally enjoying some vino since she's you know, no longer pregnant, of course.
She is, so the thing about her is actually I bought her this bottle of wine like maybe 2 years ago, and it was aged and it was produced in 2016, and she just finally got around to it, and she's really been enjoying it. It was like some actually I'm looking at the bottle. It's a silver oak.
Oh,
Yeah, it
that's a
was.
good
I
one.
seen, I seen the some dude in the NFL drinking it, and I was like, you know what? I don't drink, so this is what I do. I don't drink, so I get the stuff from my wife and let her drink it, and then she tells me about it. So when it comes up in conversation, I can have some knowledge on it. But obviously, it's not my personal experience. I'm living through my wife. I live through people. That's just my thing.
I know you do. Well, good. Yeah, no, good job. That's good husband. That's a good husband move over there. So
Thank you.
give my kudos. All right. Well, we should probably talk some football, I guess, huh? At some point.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So last time we talked was, I guess, last episode was probably like 3-4 weeks ago. And honestly, like I said, kind of in the beginning, like it's been an eventful couple weeks here, because while we haven't gotten our final result on Deshaun Watson or Baker Mayfield, there has been developments, and it feels like every week kind of had a lot of ups and downs, and the decision of what he's going to get, if any suspension, has been insane. It has been a full season. It's been now to nothing. It's all over the place. So as of right now, as we're talking, the latest is with Deshaun that he had a disciplinary hearing last week, and the legal team basically, I in my opinion, did him really no favors. I mean, his lawyer went on, public radio and started talking about how, when you go to a massage parlor, like, it is what it is. Like, you might as well, you can enjoy yourself anyways. So I really think that his legal team really did him no favors in the court of public opinion. So going into this disciplinary hearing was definitely questionable. And so the NFL presented evidence, and it was the evidence of 12 women that were interviewed.
Mm-hmm.
And they focused on 5 of those cases. And what came out on Friday, which is, I think, a pretty big deal, is that they found no evidence of violence committed, threats of violence, coercion, duress, no evidence that would constitute assault or anything that would trigger that kind of like 6-game suspension line. So it's interesting, because we thought for sure there was going to be a lot of these nitty gritty details that were going to come out, especially after this. And we've been hearing, obviously, the NFL supposedly wanted Watson to get a year. But Judge Sue Robinson is the one that's handling this case. And Tyvis, I understand that. So if there's no discipline at all, it cannot be appealed. And Roger Goodell, like that's just the ruling. Roger Goodell cannot overrule it. If there is any type of suspension held out, Roger Goodell can then kind of veto it and, put his own. Why even have her? Right? Like, I mean, why even have that? And I know that that's been, talked about here and there a little bit, but why? Like, then there's no point. If he's just going to overrule everything, it makes no sense.
That's a lot of people feel that exact same way. I think, honestly, it's to have her is because I don't think he's going to overrule it. I think whatever she decides, because I don't think he wants to really be in the middle of it. Like, I think he wants somebody else. This is the one time that he can honestly put it on somebody else. Like, all right, it wasn't my decision. Like, they did that. That's what they came out with. If there's no biases involved, none of that. This is what We went through trial, and this is what they came up with. It's the right way to do it. I don't think he can get backlash from neither side with the NFLPA or the women. So it's like this is his one time. It's get out of jail free card. So I don't think he's going to appeal it. I think that's the purpose of her. But if he does step in front of it, that he's opening up a can of worms in this situation, because I think he's going to upset one side, either whether that be the NFLPA or that be the women.
No, I completely agree. I think that this could be Goodell's way of getting out of it. I mean, I don't know what else he could possibly ask for, because the NFL has just been on trial, and Deshaun has made the NFL look bad, and it's tough. So I know that Goodell wants to put something on him and use him maybe as an example, but then it opens up those doors to Robert Kraft and, his happy ending that he's got going on, or did have going on, I should say. But, I've heard a couple different things. I've heard that, well, look, it's a little different because, he was going to a place where like, that's what they do, right? Like it was assumed, but like, what do they like broadcast?
Wait a minute,
outside?
who are you talking about? Deshaun or Robert
Kraft?
Oh yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
do your thing.
And it's like that's what they're known for. But like, there's not like a sign out there that's like happy endings are here. Like there's it's not like a thing. It's not. So in that sense, like I get that that's the basis of maybe the argument against Kraft versus Deshaun Watson situation, but it's really not. And I know that these women possibly, like, how do we know for sure that these women also, by the way, were like, yes, for sure. I just, not to get into the Robert Kraft thing, and I know that's over with or whatever, and they found no, he didn't. He did not violate the NFL conduct policy. Is that what you were about to tell me?
I wasn't about to say that at all. That's not what I was about to say.
Well, no, that's what they said. Let me back up. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the NFL said that because they didn't find anything, apparently.
But I think, like I said, it's sad that it's places out there that just, I mean, I guess it's word of mouth. You kind of, it gets around that, these type of things happen at this certain location, and people go around, and I guess it's just kind of assumed, like,
right. But they're not broadcasting it like that. So that's why I don't get that argument of like, well, that's what they do there. It's like, well, says who? Like, says who?
It must have happened once, and that person went out and said, listen, I went here and this happened to me. You go here, you try, and then the next person went and did it, and it just became a thing that they got known for. I think that's typically how it goes. I'm not. Right. I'm guessing on this, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have any expertise in this field, but I would imagine that it's word of mouth. That people say, I went here and they did this for me, and if you go there, they probably do it for you too. And it's.
But that's my point. Things. Like, what's the difference then, right? Like between Deshaun and Robert Kraft, then at that point, what is the difference?
There's really no difference.
These places were supposed to be massage places, not anything else. That's what they were advertised for, whether, going to a woman. And I think you're right that obviously that's how it happened in word of mouth. And Deshaun probably, I'm assuming, in my own just guesstimation, that, he had some women say yes, right? And when these women say yes, you just probably to a certain point expect that or assume that that's a possibility with someone else. And it's not, because that's not their job. So we've talked about these blurred lines now for a long time. But the issue I guess I have now, it really is holding Robert Kraft to a different and higher standard, which is what the NFL conduct policy talks about, and him not getting any real punishment. And that's a big flag. And I think also what they have on their side, Deshaun's team, I should say, that have on their side is that, she'll get these written briefs from each side that are due by July 11th. And I heard and read some rumors that it might be around like the week of the 25th, which would really put us right, obviously, before training camp starts.
She'll get her written materials, and then, her findings have to be on fact, and those facts have to be binding. And then she'll rule on those facts and then apply them to the law, which is technically the law on this personal conduct policy. So I listened to a pretty lengthy podcast from Mike Florio, which, this guy, I just don't know.
You talk about the dude who hate the Browns and want to see us do bad. That
Yeah,
guy?
but then he talks good about the Browns, and he was so
Well,
positive. Deshaun,
he's doing it from a keen eye. That was his words. He want to, report
he was
the
a
story
lawyer.
from a keen eye.
Yeah, he's just, there's a lot of clickbait going on, and look, kudos to him for really kind of riding this high right now, especially with Deshaun and his legal background and everything. And it was good. I mean, I listened to the good, 25 minutes of it. Guy likes hearing himself talk, but hey, that's good. He's definitely got some good takes and some others that I think are outrageous. Like we've talked about, God, what was that one about
the players should get paid
showing up
to
to
the
draft.
Yeah.
Ugh,
I'm not
going down that path again.
I don't hate it. I still don't hate it. It's not bad. It's not a bad thought. Anyways, the difference between Robert Kraft and Deshaun Watson is one has B's, the other has M's. It's a big difference right there. So that makes that whole thing change and that perspective of that. But as far as this whole massage thing goes, like I said, I think my personal thing is I think Deshaun Watson was you got to put yourself in the mind of a 24, 25-year-old guy. I mean, I don't know if he was single or not at the time. He probably was. And I mean, he was just wild, man. There's just some wild stuff going on. Like I said, he probably went to a massage parlor and, it is, or not even a massage parlor. He just somebody did it the one time and he was like, man, this is pretty good. And he just expected it moving forward. And I think, like I said, if you you're 25, these kids today is wild, Holly. I don't it's not that shocking. Like I said, I've been 25 before too. And, I've seen and heard things and it's just, people's just different. It's a maturity thing. And I guess when you, with massages, I guess it was like an easier target because it's no different if he went to the club and met a woman and they did whatever after that. It's he basically was doing that same thing, but through massages. And it's weird to do it that way, but everybody got their own thing and I'm not here to judge nobody, but I personally wouldn't have did it that way, but whatever. But I think that's just what it was. Like I say, it was what these kids call demon time. That's the kids today. Demon time, meaning they doing some naughty activity. And I think that's just really what it was.
Yeah. And firsthand in the sense of when you were in those locker rooms and there are, first of all, Deshaun Watson, while this is obviously very large for the pure fact of just the sheer number of women that were involved.
Yes.
But I have heard so much about NFL players beyond, a lot of not good things, a lot of dirty things, a lot of things that
everybody's not perfect. Everybody.
Right. So I think, and so it's been really hard for me to kind of really wrap my head around this whole thing with him because my opinion and my thought process changes weekly because I just feel like deep down, even when it first came out, or that I should say when the Browns announced that we were trading for him, I didn't seem as phased, and I'm still not, just for the fact that I've of the things I know, the things I've heard, the things I've seen, by the way, and these other, professional athletes that people put up on pedestals that do not belong there are. And it's it's just a matter of getting caught and not getting caught. I'm not justifying it at all. And I think that there needs to be some type of change. But then at the end of the day, I've been around girls and even recently around girls that, get a thrill out of trying to get the attention of a professional athlete. So where is that line? I think that that's what gets really hard because you can probably attest to the fact that a lot of these guys, when they're getting these women, throwing themselves at them, not all women, obviously, these certain women, it does start to take on the persona of well, then I can probably get whoever I want, right? Or I can try these things and see what I can get away with.
Well, to be honest, that last part, I think that's true. The thing about it though is honestly, a lot of athletes aren't attracted to the women that throw themselves at them. They get a, we're naturally up for the challenge. You typically like the ones that don't throw themselves at you. Like that's the one that you kind of see yourself going out of your way to try to impress, the one that's not really checking for you, if that makes sense. And well, with a guy like Deshaun Watson to be the man like that, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's not, does he have to work as hard? No, I don't think he does. But like I said, I just think that was just something that he was into. Like I said, he got away with it for a while and it just became a natural thing to him where it was like, instead of going out to the club and seeking these women, I'm going to just do it through massage. And, if something happens, cool. If it don't, I ain't going to press them. I ain't going to force myself on them to make them do it to where it can be like rape or something like that. It was one of those things where he got naked, he got the massage. I still believe that once his penis hit their hand, every girl had a different reaction. If their reaction was like giggling, it kind of lets you know as a man, like, okay, this is what's about to happen. And if she kind of gets disgusted by it, it's kind of like, oh, I'm sorry. Like you could play it, I'm sorry. Like I didn't mean to do that. And that it's not going to happen. And I think that's kind of the situation where he fell in and how he was able to tell whether or not to proceed or not with trying to get extra out of the whole thing. But as to wrap this thing up, like I said, I think it's one of those things that, and this is this is what it is. People say, the women say that they felt sexually assaulted and all that, and to him, I think he thought for a while, like, I didn't do anything. Like I didn't force myself on them. I didn't force them to do anything. I didn't tell them to do anything, because like I said, if you went through that whole process of what I just said, where you get naked and, naturally you're going to catch an erection. And if it hit their hand and they giggle, cool. And if they don't giggle and they get mad, then I think that kind of tells you everything. But what I've learned is that if your penis hit their hand, technically right then and there, that's sexual assault. Technically, I'm sorry.
Well, and I know I'm sure that is why it's probably funny too. First of all, you saying that twice. On top of that, though, because it is probably true, but it should never be hitting the hand in the first place, right? Like, and I get that that's probably a natural thing for a man, right? But like, it shouldn't be. But that's it. But no, I know, I understand what you're saying though, because again, if it's been any type of suggested by a woman that she would be okay, whether she's flirting with the guy, whether, this athlete and so forth, and he does think that he's going to put himself in a position literally for, the hand to graze or whatever. We're really getting into the details of this. I can't.
You gotta listen. I gotta paint the picture for you. Like I'm not gonna shortchange our fans. I'm painting the picture for y'all, so y'all understand like why or how this potentially could have happened. Like I feel like if a woman touches a man and he's nude, I mean, naturally that's something's gonna happen. So like that's like that. It's one of those things that's uncontrollable. I think, like I said, the biggest thing that he could have done to avoid this situation was wear shorts, because you can, like I said,
I was just gonna say, why is he naked though? Like, why even be naked?
Some people prefer that. I'm not here to judge. I've always gotten my massages with shorts on because, like I said, I understand what's going to happen. So that's just me. Like I said, there's no right or wrong way to get massages. Some people say that you need to be nude to hit certain areas of the body, and sometimes shorts get in the way. I don't think that that's true, because like I said, I've gotten a ton of massages and I've gotten my groin work done and all that, and everything was still good. So yeah, that's just his personal preference.
Well, I'm glad that we went super detective in on the hand placement and
oh yeah,
should be worn,
the 66 ain't that bad either. It's not the 66 massage. It's not a 66 masseuse. Yeah, that's eyebrow raising, but 66 massages in a 17-month span is about accurate about what you want to do if you're a professional athlete. That's almost like a massage every once a week, which that's typical for the job that you have. As I know, we talked about it before, like who gets 66 massages. If you're like if you got a regular job, no, you're not going to get massages that often. But professional athletes who's trying to take care of their body, yeah, you need to get massages at least once a week. That's normal. Teams do bring in masseuse once a week to get you massages. They're all slotted. If you miss your time, or if somebody, like, say, I think it's like a certain amount of time slots, and if all the slots get taken, then you're on your own and you have to go get your own massage. So that's another way that you can be outside of the facility getting massages instead of getting them indoors, because somebody might have took all the time slots. So it's not that crazy. I use the app called Soothe, which you can still use it today. Download it, called Soothe. They come right to your building or your house and they give you the massage right in your house. So it's not that crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting to hear how your tune has changed.
I'm just trying
specifically from
my
the
tune
beginning.
hasn't changed. I just
has.
want to give everybody the whole, facts about the whole thing.
Well,
And then
I know. And look,
and then
more
you can
facts
make
have
your
come
own
out.
judge. Yeah, you can make your own judgment. I'm just telling you, like, something. I'm giving you all the facts that what goes on in the NFL, how you can get a whole bunch of massages. If you use the Soothe app, you're not going to get the same masseuse every time. So therefore your number do add up. So it's not that crazy.
I know. Well, I'm talking about you and I texting when this stuff all came out in the beginning. We were like, this is
Oh, it was
good.
oh,
Like,
yeah.
oh, so, and now that things have kind of come out more and more, right? Like it'll be interesting to see what happens now, obviously, with the Browns season and the support of the fans. I read an article recently that some diehard Browns fans are kind of giving up the ship. I don't believe it, really. At the end of the day, I think that the butts will be in those seats. They will be tailgating, whether or not Deshaun Watson is playing and starting with that, that first game or not.
If it's people that keep saying that they're not Browns fans and they're not supporting the Browns anymore, I think if you supported a team for so long, is naturally you're going to want them to do well. I mean, I get the fact that you don't agree with who's at the quarterback position, but if the Browns won the Super Bowl, you'd probably be downtown celebrating 100%. So, like, I get it. I get the frustration and I get why you're mad and I get all of that. I do. But I don't think that you should let that stop your passion and love for a team that you grew up watching and rooting for. Like, I don't
Well, yeah,
think
he's not the only one on the team, right? And I know, though, that you may
right.
not support the decision by ownership or the coaching staff or what have you,
I
but
think it's so many role models on that Browns team. You got Myles Garrett, who he steps up and he speaks out, for athletes, and he says the things that some people think he shouldn't say, but he's fighting for what he believes in. You got Denzel Ward, who's a hometown kid, great kid,
former guest on the Orange is Orange.
does everything the right way. You got Nick Chubb, who does everything the right way, does everything how you want your running back to be. And you telling me that you're not going to support these guys just because of one guy on the team, where I feel like me being in the locker room, there's a bunch of bad guys on every team, but that doesn't stop people from supporting them and coming to the game. So I don't think one person should ruin, your love for your team.
Well, it shouldn't. And when people stop understanding that the NFL should start understanding that the NFL is a business and stop trying to understand the fact that they're not doing anything for the fans. Are they trying to appease fans to a certain point? Yes. Is the NFL itself trying to make sure they keep a good image and doing what they need to do? Yes, absolutely. But each team is a business. They have to make money. They want to win. And he gives them the best opportunity to win if he's playing. And the Browns, I don't like that the Browns have gotten so much heat as a whole, for the pure fact too that there were many other teams interested in him. If we hadn't done it, another team would have. So I don't know, maybe I'm just removed, and like we've talked about this, maybe we're just kind of removed from the fact that we know what it is, and what he's done is really supposedly what he's been done, or what he's accused of been doing, I should say, is not as shocking to me out of the other things I've seen, read, heard, what have you. So we have a big next couple weeks coming with whatever the judge, Sue Robinson, comes down with. So to kind of end that, and before we go to a break, Tyvis, tell me right now. This is kind of like a baby pool. I feel like we should I don't know, wager something. I don't know, or win something. I don't know. I want you to tell me the day that the news comes out, the time of the day, and what his suspension is.
Okay, let me see. Hold on. Let me check my Palm Pilot.
You have a Palm Pilot? What is that?
Let me see. Now I'm checking my phone. The news will
that?
break. The news will break July 15th, next Friday, 5:00, 5 p.m. It'll be,
Okay.
and it will be a 4-game suspension. Maybe not. No, maybe 0. 0 to 4. Bam. There we go.
No.
Yeah, I just did that. Yes,
No,
I
you
just
can't.
did that. Yep.
0 is a whole different ruling
0
than
to
4
4.
games.
0 to
0
4?
is no. Mm-mm.
It's just
Nope.
4.
That is not how this baby pool works. Okay. I need a 0 or a 4.
0 to 4.
No, that is not a guess.
That's a great guess. That's a
Like
guess.
3 guesses. That
It's
is not a guess.
a range. It's a range.
I didn't ask for a range, bro. I asked for a number.
0.
I'm gonna say Tuesday, July 19th, at 4:30, and it will be 4 games. And Goodell will not try to overturn it. He'll be good with the 4 games.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
All
right.
You wanted me to rebuttal that?
No, I don't know. I don't know what I want from you anymore.
This is gonna be OHIO, 0 games.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will take a quick break, and we'll come back. We'll wrap up with some, if any, Baker news.
Hey everybody, it's Sam Amico from Cavs on the Break NBA podcast. Be sure to give us a listen for all your Cleveland Cavaliers recaps, analysis, breakdowns, draft talk, free agency. The list goes on and on. Give us a listen, Cavs on the Break NBA podcast.
Looking for new insights on the Cleveland sports scene with a unique side of Cleveland sports history? Then you found the perfect podcast. I'm John Sable.
And I'm Scott Sable, and we're hosts of the Sable Brothers on the Baseline podcast, a podcast about Cleveland sports, but not your typical podcast about the land's sports teams. Join us as we embark on a journey of sharing a unique and historical side of Cleveland sports history with the help of some former Cleveland sports stars and other historical figures.
All right here on the Sable Brothers on the Baseline podcast, part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
All right, we are back on the Orange is Oranger Cleveland Browns podcast. I'm Holly Wetzel. He is Tyvis Powell, and we are trying to wrap up this crap of a show. I've had about
on my end.
7 or 8 internet issues at least during the show. Also some mic issues. I'm pretty annoyed. My excitement is going down. So, all right, Tyvis, let's talk about the other quarterback on the team, obviously.
Jacoby Brissett.
Hey, I have faith in Jacoby. Okay, I do. I don't think he's gonna. I really, honest to God, think he's going to be decent enough. If he has to play however many games he has to play, I think he's going to be decent enough. I don't like when people say I don't like playing the schedule game. I actually really enjoy playing the schedule game. I like it. I think it makes a huge difference. So
I think that Jacoby Brissett will be just fine. I think any quarterback will actually be just fine. I think Baker Mayfield could come back and just be fine. The way Kevin Stefanski's offense is, I don't think it's that hard to be that successful in it. I mean, this is Baker Mayfield definitely had one of his best seasons with it. He was doing okay before the injury. And yeah, Kirk Cousins killed it. I just think it's all tailor-made to be where it's like they're not asking you to do a whole lot, especially with the weapons you've got with the running backs. I think that the running backs will be used very heavily in
Right.
these first 4 games. If he is suspended, he's not
Mhm.
going to be, but if he is suspended, then I think that the running backs they'll be leaned on a lot and asked to do more. And with the receiving weapons that they got, because outside of what's your roommate, your neighbor?
Oh, we're just gonna put that out there.
Oh, my fault. I thought we talked about this a bunch of times. Schwartz. Outside of Anthony Schwartz.
Yeah, everybody. I live next to Anthony Schwartz. Like I do. It
I
is what it
apologize.
is.
I thought
I
we've been
won't say
talked about.
where we live.
We've been
but
talked about this a million times. They all know that Anthony Schwartz is like your neighbor.
I know
But
a lot
anyway,
of people know that.
outside of Anthony Schwartz and Grant, they don't really have too many people that can take the top off of a defense. Grant is more of a gadgets guy anyway, so he's not looking to take the top off the defense. So I think that those guys would just be utilized a lot, little 15-yard routes at the most. And I think Jacoby Brissett has shown, even when he was with the Colts, he's shown that he's more than capable of getting that done.
Yeah, I'm not worried. If people seem to be, not everybody, but I've seen reports of people get very, very worried about him. I'm really not. I think that he's been, I know he hasn't gotten a lot of reps, but I think that's, training camp's going to be a huge deal. We're going to have our answers. And that's where the focus is going to be, obviously, to the season ahead. And we started to talk about Baker. Interesting enough. So I don't know if you saw today, Tyvis, it's July 5th, Tuesday, that there was the Baker to Seattle whole thing was basically just crap. Like there was an internet rumor that kind of really took off. And it's not ever really been able to be confirmed. And it came out today that they're not, that they're more than happy with a Drew Lock, Geno Smith battle. Well, okay, if that's your 2020 season goal between those two, then by all means, Seattle. I mean, Baker would be an upgrade there for sure. So I don't know. Does he want to go to Carolina? They're kind of a disaster. Matt Rule would, he may need him though to kind of keep his job for next year. And or Tampa Bay. There's Tampa Bay. He could play under Tom Brady.
I've been telling y'all for months that Tampa Bay, if it was up to me, I would tell him, you know what, Baker, forget everybody else. Listen to your OG. Listen to me, okay? Because I ain't got no beef with you.
Well, I'm sure he listens to the Orange is Orange. I'm sure
he does. He definitely does. Listen to your OG. Listen, go to Tampa Bay. Tom Brady got 1 or 2 years left at best. And he's riding. He got $375 million waiting on him. He ain't tripping. Learn a thing or two, because you sat behind Tyrod Taylor, but we talking about the GOAT here. We talking about the greatest of all time.
Right.
You can sit there, rehab that shoulder, make sure it's 100% ready. I know some people that's been with Tampa Bay, so I know what goes into the preparation. Like the quarterbacks at Tampa Bay, it's ridiculous. The amount of preparation that they do, so Tom Brady is ready. And I'm talking about all the quarterbacks cater to getting Tom Brady ready for this game. So you can learn how to prepare and be ready for a game. Go out there, go in the preseason, show that you're healthy, make some good passes, keep your mouth closed, stay hungry and ambitious in your mind. And when Tom walks out, he can toss you the keys to this car, and you got Bruce Arians who like you. You got Byron Leftwich, one of the best offensive coordinators in the game. Man, you could resurrect your career. You will go from being a potential bust to being great. So just take the Tampa, find a way to get to Tampa Bay. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
listen to me.
I honestly think that would be probably the best scenario for him. I think that quite frankly, he could not only learn a lot from Tom Brady on the field, but a lot from Tom Brady off the field. I think that there's a certain way he needs to continue to start to, I shouldn't say continue to, start to carry himself. And, what better way to learn under, I've not been the biggest Tom Brady fan my whole life, but I'll tell you these last 5-6 years, I've been a big fan of him. And, he's become a great personality off the field. And Baker honestly is, and all those things are funnier when you're playing better. So, but yeah, no, I think he'd be great in Tampa Bay. I think that would be a really good scenario for him. Or Carolina. I think, boy, can you even imagine? I know it's been, beaten
I
to a
don't
pulp,
like
but
it. I don't like him going to Carolina. Carolina to me is just a job. Like if you go to Carolina, you're just looking for a job. You're not looking to make a career. Because I don't think you could, like, they don't have the way. Yeah, Christian McCaffrey is there, but can you depend on him to be healthy? Robbie Anderson, yeah, that's cool, but that's it. Like that.
but right now, isn't he just looking? He is looking for a job. I mean,
No, and that's the problem right there. You're not looking for a job. You're looking for a career. That's why if you go to Tampa Bay, you're thinking about your career. If you go to the Carolina, this is just a 1-year thing. It might not even go well. If you don't put no numbers up against Carolina, it's over with. It's over. Ain't no, you're going to be forever solidified as a backup. But if you go to Tampa Bay, sit behind Tom Brady, learn, show that you actually care and you got some good effort, you know what they're going to do? Re-sign you for another year. And guess what? When Tom Brady is done, he's going to toss you the keys. It's going to be between you and I think Blaine Gabbert. And you should have a good chance to at least beat that. If you can't beat Blaine Gabbert out, then, I mean, you need to come on and get on the Orange is Orange podcast with me and Holly and just go ahead and call it a career.
Hey, where careers flourish here on the Orange is Orange. Okay.
He can work on his sports media career.
That's right. And he will, and he should one day, because if he keeps up this charisma that he does have off the field, then he has a future. But we'll see. All right. Well, I think that should wrap up I feel like this was such a filler episode. It was like, let's continue to talk about the stuff we've been talking about, but it's true. I mean,
those two have been the biggest thing in Cleveland, and it's so tiring. I'm ready for something else to happen in Cleveland. I personally feel like we still need a wide receiver, but nobody seems to address that. I still would love to get another defensive tackle, a veteran defensive tackle. I love Sheldon. Sheldon is the only one. I think they need one more. I think Sheldon Richardson is actually still available, if memory serves me correct. It'd be nice to get a familiar guy who knows the defense, who has that attitude, who can really, teach these young guys some stuff. That would be nice too. So I think those are the two things that be on my mind. I like Amari Cooper. I really do. Sometimes he doesn't play to his full potential. It's just you have to catch him on the right game. And I just don't know if he'll be consistent enough. I like David Bell. I've been watching David Bell for the past 2 years in college. I think he's a great talent. His 40 time don't have nothing to do with how he was on the football field, because like I said, I watched him at Purdue have multiple 200+ yard games. So he's definitely a baller, and we've been hearing nothing but great things about him. Jakeem Grant, like I say, to me, he's just a gadgets guy. One of those guys that you give reverses, jet sweeps to. I really haven't seen a lot of him he's a return specialist. So Demetric Felton, you need to get your stuff together, because you might be looking on the outside looking in. If Grant can really take off at that return spot, you'll be the one looking for another team. And outside of them, tight end position, I love Njoku. He's really great. I think he's a great athlete. I think he'll be more involved with the offense.
You think he's going to have a big year this year?
He has to, because he has to justify that money.
Well,
Kevin Stefanski.
Yes, but do you think he is going to?
Yeah, he has the potential to be, for sure. But believe it or not, when he was a rookie in the NFL, me and him did one-on-ones. Yes, this is back when I was with the Browns for my little cup of tea. And he actually got me on a route, and it was actually a really good route. So if you can get me, who is like the tight end, I'm the tight end stopper. If you can get me, then you can get anybody in the league, because I just feel that confident in my game. So yes, I think he definitely has the ability to get the thing done. And I think he's going to be featured a lot, because they have to justify paying somebody like a top 5 tight end. So if all you fantasy listeners out there, I would definitely jump on Njoku.
Yeah, I think he will have a big year this year too. I think, like we've talked about, and then if Deshaun is playing most of the season, if not all the season, when you're playing with good players, they're going to make you better. And I think that this whole offense, this new offense with Deshaun, is going to make a major difference with a lot of these guys. I think that they're going to be more open. There's going to be more opportunities. He's going to be more accurate, right? I mean, I think that that's we're going to be in a much better position to win across the board. And I'm hoping that, this shit gets settled, man. I'm so over it. I'm ready for training camp. I'm looking forward to seeing all these guys play. You just went through a really good list. So I and that's the stuff I want. That's like it for whatever the 2-3 minutes that you just went through that list. I'm like, yeah, like this is what we should be talking about, and we're not. So I'm hoping
the number one Browns player that I'm watching that nobody talks about outside of David Bell, because I am watching David Bell, but the one person is Martin Emerson. That's who I want to see. I can't wait till the preseason start to see how he does, because a lot of people eyebrow raised the pick. And I was actually in the spaces with Chops, with off-season Chops, and I was telling them, they was like, Tyvis, why would what's your thoughts on this Browns pick? And I thought it was a good pick because Greedy is on the last year of his deal, and he's been so up and down, but he has been a safety blanket. The problem with Greedy is, for some odd reason, he can come in the game and he can finish the game. He's like Mariano Rivera. He's a great closer, but if you ask him to play that whole game, you open it up a can of worms, and he's subjective to giving up a deep ball. So it'll be interesting to see if Emerson could come in there and really play solid. He's not big on interceptions, which in that defense, you ain't getting a lot of interceptions. You only getting the interceptions on tips and overthrows. Got to get those. If any Browns player or any Seattle or San Fran players listening, they'll definitely say got to get those when you hear tips and overthrows. But I think I just want to see his game, because I think it's going to translate really well, especially him being, if Denzel takes him under his wing with G New in the slot. I like G New in the slot. I think he showed some promise there last season. But that Martin Emerson, he can really come in and fill a void for Greedy, because this could be Greedy's last year. And I think if Martin plays well, Greedy actually could be on the trade block by the deadline. So,
which I'd be more than fine with.
A lot of people will, but Greedy's not terrible. He's not, like I say, but he's
been lackluster at best, right? Like there hasn't been.
He's high and low. Like he's come in. If somebody goes down and he comes in the game, I'm fine with that. He does really well. But if you ask him to start consistent weeks, that's where the problem occurs, and that's not good. Like if you want to get paid in this league, you need to be able to consistently
every week.
Exactly.
You can't be just the filler.
Just saying.
Yeah. Well, and hopefully by the time we record our next episode, we have our Deshaun answers, and we're able to really start getting into more of the X's and O's of this 2022 upcoming season. So
this concludes my TED talk for the day.
Yeah, you were riding your Chicago high, coming home, riding that Chicago high. So, all right, well.
Oh my God. At the whole stretch. At the whole stretch.
Yes, I'm Holly Wetzel. He's Tyvis Powell.
Oh my goodness. At the home stretch. Start it over. Here we go.
Oh my God.
It's over with now.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say. All right. Well, that is it for us on the Orange is Oranger Cleveland Browns podcast. I'm Holly Wetzel. He is Tyvis Powell. I'm so glad this episode is over, because I've had at least now 10 interruptions from my internet. And I am really hoping that we're talking some details of Browns football. Tyvis is dancing on camera right now. Thank God you guys can't see him. Poor guy doesn't know how to dance. Okay. Have a good night. Make sure to like and subscribe for the Orange is Oranger on Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And we're done.